$25 billion. That is what Tesla just committed to spending in a single year, 3 times what they spent in 2025. And the CFO confirmed on a live call that the company will burn through free cash flow for the rest of 2026 to do it. Tesla beat earnings. The stock rose 4%. Then Elon spoke, and every gain disappeared by midnight. This is not a story about a quarterly report. This is a story about a company that just made one of the largest single-year bets in American corporate history on robots, on chips, on self-driving cars, while leaving behind the customers who paid $15,000 for a promise that no longer applies to their vehicle. Stay to the end. I will show you exactly where the $25 billion is going, which Tesla owners just got left behind, and what the Q2 delivery number, arriving in days, will actually tell us about whether any of this is working. Tesla beat earnings. The stock went up 4%. Then Elon Musk started talking, and by the time the call ended, every single gain was gone. That happened on April 22, 2026, and if you only read the headline, Tesla beats EPS, revenue up 16% year over year, you would think it was a great night. Revenue came in at $22.4 billion. Earnings per share hit 41 cents, beating the 37-cent estimate. Auto margins, excluding credits, climbed from 17.9% to 19.2%. By any normal measure, that is a strong quarter. But Tesla is not a normal company right now, and the Q1 report was not really about Q1. It was about what comes next, and what comes next is expensive. Here is what most coverage missed. While the income statement looked clean, Tesla's CFO Vaibhav Taneja stepped up to the microphone and said something that stopped the after-hours rally cold. He confirmed that Tesla now expects to spend over $25 billion in capital expenditures in 2026 alone. That is up from the over $20 billion guidance issued just 3 months earlier, a $5 billion revision in 1 quarter. For context, Tesla spent $8.5 billion in all of 2025. The new number is roughly 3 times that. The company ended Q1 with $44.7 billion in cash, and Taneja was direct about what happens next. While this may seem like a lot, and we will have the impact of negative free cash flow for the rest of the year, we believe this is the right strategy to position the company for the next era. Negative free cash flow. For the rest of 2026, a company with nearly $45 billion in the bank is choosing to burn through it, deliberately, on a timeline, with a plan. And right now, the world is a few weeks away from finding out whether that plan is showing up in the delivery numbers. According to Goldman Sachs analyst Mark Delaney, Tesla's Q2 2026 deliveries are expected to land around 420,000 vehicles, 5% above the Wall Street consensus of 400,000. The official report is expected in early July. If Goldman is right, it would mark a meaningful recovery from Q1's 358,000 units. And based on regional data through May, Europe is tracking 85 to 90% above last year's numbers. But the US picture is different. Domestic deliveries through May are down mid-double digits year over year. 2 markets, 2 completely opposite trajectories. One company betting $25 billion that it can hold both together. That tension is what makes the next few weeks matter more than any earnings call in recent memory. And the delivery number is only half the story. Picture a factory floor, not for cars, for chips, in Austin, Texas. That is where a portion of the $25 billion is going. Tesla is building what it calls the Terafab, a semiconductor research facility designed not to save money on chip costs, but because, in Elon Musk's own words on the Q1 call, we just don't see a path to having enough quantity of AI chips down the road. This is not a car company talking. This is a company that looked at the global AI compute race. Amazon planning $200 billion, Google planning $175 billion, and decided it needed its own silicon. To understand why, look at what Tesla is doing with AI right now. At the end of 2025, Tesla had the equivalent of roughly 120,000 NVIDIA H100 GPUs running. According to Tesla earnings disclosures, the company is targeting approximately 280,000 GPU equivalents by the end of June 2026. That is more than double in 6 months. And it is powering 2 things simultaneously: the continued training of full self-driving and the neural network behind Optimus. Speaking of FSD, as of Q1 2026, Tesla has 1.28 million paid subscribers. That is up 51% year over year. 180,000 new paying users joined in a single quarter. Auto margins climbing to 19.2% while vehicle deliveries are relatively flat is partly this. Software revenue running alongside hardware sales and growing faster. But there is a detail buried in that FSD story that changes the picture for a lot of people. On the Q1 earnings call, Musk confirmed that vehicles running Hardware 3, the autopilot chip Tesla shipped from 2019 onward, will not be able to run unsupervised full self-driving, not without a costly retrofit. During that same call, he described how the current system actually behaves in the real world. The car sometimes gets scared to do things, and then, we've had literal infinite loops where the car tries to turn, sees construction, goes around the block, and tries again. That is unsupervised FSD as of April 2026. Running in Austin, Dallas, and Musk confirmed. But convenience issues, not safety, are the current bottleneck. Meanwhile, the European rebound is real and measurable. According to Goldman Sachs, citing registration data through May, France and Germany each posted triple-digit year-over-year growth. Giga Berlin produced over 61,000 units in Q1, a record for that facility. The Model Y Juniper refresh and competitive pricing appear to have landed well across the Atlantic. The US decline, running mid-teens year-over-year through May, is harder to read. It could be pricing sensitivity. It could be broader EV market headwinds. It could be something tied to brand perception. What is clear is that Tesla's Q2 recovery story is being written almost entirely outside North America, and that makes the official delivery number, expected in early July, one of the most closely watched data points of the year. $25 billion, 1.28 million FSD subscribers, a Europe rebound of 85 to 90%, and a domestic market that is still moving the wrong direction. What happens when those four numbers meet Q2's official count is where the story gets strange. Here is the number Tesla buried in the fine print of the Q1 report. And once you see it, the stock reaction makes complete sense. $25 billion in capital expenditures is not going toward making more Model Y sedans. It is funding 6 new factories, an AI compute build-out, a chip fab, the Cybercab production ramp, and Optimus, which, according to Tesla's own Q1 disclosures, is targeting a production ramp beginning late July or August 2026. That is a company that has made a decision. The car business is no longer the bet. The bet is everything else, and that bet has a cost, not just in dollars, but in who gets left behind. Consider this. Tesla sold full self-driving packages to Hardware 3 owners from 2019 onward. Some of those customers paid between $8,000 and $15,000 for the promise of full autonomy. As of Q1 2026, Musk confirmed on the earnings call that Hardware 3 vehicles will not achieve unsupervised FSD without expensive retrofits. The owners who paid the most, the earliest, for the future, are now on the outside of it. At the same time, Tesla is building a future that, by its own framing, goes far beyond transportation. On that same April earnings call, Elon Musk said this: "I think Optimus will be our biggest product. Not just Tesla's biggest product ever, but probably the biggest product ever." Probably the biggest product ever. Said by the CEO of a company currently spending 3 times its historical annual capital expenditure in a single year, while running negative free cash flow for 9 consecutive months. This is the tension that Wall Street could not price in one night. Goldman Sachs raised its Q2 delivery estimate and its 2026 EPS forecast, but kept its price target at $375, while the stock traded at $411. The message: the Q2 beat is likely, but the $25 billion bet means the valuation debate is no longer about deliveries. It is about whether Optimus ships, whether Cybercab scales, whether the AI compute build pays off in FSD monetization, and whether Tesla's energy business, which posted gross margins above 39% in Q1, becomes a second revenue engine large enough to matter. Every dollar of that $25 billion is a wager on a version of Tesla that does not fully exist yet. And Q2's delivery report, a number arriving in early July, will not answer most of those questions. But it will tell us one thing: whether the recovery outside North America is real enough to absorb the pressure at home. 420,000 vehicles, according to Goldman. 400,000, according to Consensus. 358,000 is where Q1 landed. The gap between those 3 numbers is where Tesla's 2026 story gets decided. Here is what to hold on to from everything in this video. Tesla ended Q1 2026 with $44.7 billion in cash. It is choosing, deliberately, on record, to burn through free cash flow for the rest of the year. The CFO said so on a live earnings call. The CEO called Optimus probably the biggest product in history in the same breath. That is not a company managing quarterly expectations. That is a company making a multi-year bet and saying it out loud. The Q2 delivery report lands in early July. If Tesla hits 420,000 or above, the recovery narrative takes hold, and the conversation shifts to whether the $25 billion in spending starts showing up in product. If it misses, the pressure compounds. Free cash flow negative, deliveries soft, and a valuation that is still pricing in a future that has not arrived. One question before you go. If Tesla reports 420,000 deliveries this quarter, while simultaneously burning through the largest capital budget in its history, does that change how you think about where this company is actually going? Or does the $25 billion make you more nervous? Not less. Drop your answer below. The next few weeks will be some of the most data-dense in Tesla's recent history, and we will be here for all of it.